interest on our T-bills, Treasury bills, amounting to 840,000. Party cards. Going forward, we are poised to roll out membership ID cards as well as due payment cards at all constituency levels. The objective is to deepen decentralization of dues collection and introduce more efficiency in the process. This will enable the party generate revenue at constituencies to augment whatever support comes from the national to run their activities and operations at the party at the constituency level. Expenditure of 5,000. 2020 being a very active year for the party, saw a significant increase in our expenditures. We continue our monthly support to our constituencies and constituency of 5,000, and by the grace of God, we will continue to do so in the coming years. Let me commend and congratulate the executives of Solar Tunakava and Bolibamboy constituency for utilizing their meager share of this contribution monthly to put up party offices in their various constituencies. I have followed with keen interest the progress of work of these developments, and I'm glad that both projects are now near completion. A positive policy worthy of congratulations, Solar Tunakaba and Wally Bamboy, and I'll urge all other constituencies to follow suit. For the constituencies. That is a clear example of positive impact from a positive policy worthy of emulation. While on this subject of putting up buildings to serve as an official office for the constituencies, it is worth noting or mentioning that just yesterday, the New Joabin constituency had the good fortune of receiving a grand donation of a brand new, fully completed operational edifice to serve as their constituency party office, donated by the kind courtesy of one of our members and a patron or elder in Ashanti region, Nanajua Dukuya Beauty Queen. Let us applaud her for this kind gesture. The facility, among other things, has a conference with a sitting capacity of 400. I want to, on behalf of the party, thank her profusely for a kind gesture and encourage more people amongst us to emulate this touching example of benevolence and sacrifice in the supreme interest of our great party. Parliamentary and presidential primaries expenditure also amounted to 10,200,000 and 11,994. Our manifesto, seminars, conferences, training also amounted to 2,997,719. Our Thanksgiving service in December amounted to 1.4,737,000. Being a good corporate citizen and a party that has the interest and welfare of people at heart, and donated to the needy and the vulnerable in society, providing educational support, rent, financial, medical, and general support to the tune of 955,850. Funeral support amounted to 1,039,000. While the party also donated 50,000 to the National Cathedral project and disbursed 187,000 during the COVID in the purchase of and distribution of hand sanitizers, vertical buckets, and nose masks. Administrative overheads, utility, and other expenses also amounted to 6,026,000. Our balance sheet in the year 2020 showed a positive growth, as indicated in the increase of accumulated funds from 5.2 million purchase of 5.278 million to 9,538,000. And robust financial gain of 81%. And continued growth. This was largely due to our bank balances, our land acquisition, and purchase of printing equipment at the party headquarters. We owe this impressive and robust financial performance and continued growth first and foremost to the grace of the Almighty God and to the firm commitment to prudent management of party resources and adherence to the best operational efficiencies in our financial dealings. Although this solid financial performance and impressive growth continue to occur under my watch as National Treasurer, so many people have contributed in diverse ways to this achievement. Notably, among them is the chairman of the National Finance Committee, Mr. Sechabankwa, and some members, Mami Adwa Dokuya, Beauty Queen, Mami Adele Ahiren, Fuel Enterprise, Honorable Tampuli, and others, to mention just a few. The National Council, colleague national officers, management staff of the party. In addition, Madam Chief of Staff, and the words of advice, His Excellency the former President John Ajekun Kufuor, and I cannot leave out His Excellency the President and Commander-in-Chief, the Armed Forces, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for our visionary leadership and the words of advice and encouragement that he continues to give to us. I would also like to thank all the chairpersons of the region and constituencies, as well as all the constituency executives and regional executives for the support they've given me throughout the period. My day-to-day interaction with you over these 7.5 years that I have handled the party affairs have taught me so much. We have achieved so much working together, which is by the grace of God, we shall achieve even greater things in the years ahead. And has also enriched my experience to be a better national treasurer and a better leader. To take up a new we have achieved so much working together, and by the grace of God, we shall achieve even greater things in the years ahead. We can strengthen going forward in all humility. I believe the time has come for me to take up a new challenge in my service to our dear party. For with God, all things are possible. With God, we can strengthen and prepare our great party for the ambitious but achievable task of Victory 2024 and beyond. The battle shall always be and remain the Lord's.
Thank you.
Have a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year in advance. And may the great Almighty grant you safe journey mercies as you travel back to your various homes and keep
to move a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Abankwayabua, National Treasurer, by the grace. Thank you very much. We now call upon the voter regional chairman to move a motion for acceptance of the financial statement. Mr. Wanya.
My name is Macroeconomic Kofi Wanya, the voter regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the national chairman, I move. My name is Macroeconomic Kofi Wanya, the voter regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party, presented by the National Treasurer, be adopted by conference. I so move. I move.
Motion moved. We're waiting
that
for the seconder.
Financial statement presented by the National Treasurer be adopted by conference. I so move.
Your Excellency.
Motion moved. We're waiting for the seconder.
Honorable. I second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Omariwadi. At this point,
Your Excellency,
we will take
I stand on the existing protocols
of the party
and I second the motion.
from.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Omariwadi. At this point, we will take the reports of the party.
Whilst we wait for the deliberation, we want
From-
to acknowledge the radio stations and the TV stations picking our national conference live. Not in any order of preference. We start off with happy.
Hold on.
Whilst we wait for the deliberation, we want to acknowledge the radio stations and the TV stations picking our national conference live. Not in any order of preference. We start off with happy.
Having been moved and seconded, I will put the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll
Very
pause.
well. Those for it to be adopted say aye. Against say no. Motion. The motion. For the adoption of the report of the National Treasurer having been moved and
Thank you, Mr.
seconded.
Chairman. The motion
I
has been
will
moved
put
and
the question.
accepted by all and sundry.
Those
Happy
for
FM,
it to be
taking
adopted
this
say
live.
aye.
Oman FM.
Against say
GBC
no.
Radio.
The
Asase
motion is
FM,
carried and
Kesben,
adopted. Thank you.
Wontumi, City FM. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The motion has been moved and accepted by all and sundry. Happy FM is picking this live.
We are also
Oman
live
FM,
on
GBC
TV3,
Radio,
YouTube,
Asase FM,
Metro TV,
Kesben,
GH1,
Wontumi, City
ETV,
FM, Joy
Prime,
FM,
Adum
Ash
TV,
FM, Denchiraman
TV,
Radio.
Natu
And
TV.
on
We are
the-
also live
TV.
on TV3,
Our very
UTV,
own Ochiman.
Metro TV,
And we have
GH1,
radio link as well.
ETV,
As and when we get the link,
Joy Prime,
we will acknowledge
Adum
all
TV,
our media
Wontumi
partners
TV,
at this great
Natu TV,
conference.
Kesben TV, and
We have,
our very own
It's not very clear, so
Ochiman
we'll wait as and when
TV.
they write it
And
very
we have
legibly.
radio
We
link
will
as well.
acknowledge you
As and
properly.
when we get
But
the
thank
list,
you. We
once
will
again, those we
acknowledge
have,
all
acknowledged.
our media
Thank you
partners
very much,
at
Madam
this
Catherine.
great
At
conference.
this point, we would like to invite
We have
the General
it's not very
Secretary
clear,
of
so
the
we'll
New
wait
Patriotic
as and when they
Party,
write it very legibly.
young,
We will
dynamic,
acknowledge you properly.
active,
But thank you
articulate
once again, those
General
we have
Secretary of our New
acknowledged.
Patriotic Party.
Thank you very
With a
much,
round of
Madam
applause, let us
Catherine.
invite
At this point, we would like to invite
Bodu to
the
give us
General
a
Secretary of the
report
New
on the
Patriotic
state of the
Party, young, dynamic, active, articulate General Secretary of our New Patriotic Party. With a round of applause, let us invite John Bodu to give us a report
much,
on the state of the party.
National Chairman of our great party, Your Excellency, Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and spouse, Your Excellency, the Vice
Thank you very
President of
much,
the
MC.
Republic and spouse,
National Chairman of our great
Right
party,
Honorable First Deputy Speaker of
Your
Parliament,
Excellency, Mr.
Majority
President
Leader Honorable
and
Chairman
Commander-in-Chief
Sabunso,
of the Ghana
National
Armed Forces and
officers,
spouse,
Ministers of State,
Your Excellency, the
CEOs,
Vice President of the Republic and
MDs,
spouse,
MMDCs, and other
Right
government
Honorable
officials,
First Deputy Speaker of
are
Parliament,
hard-working members of Parliament,
Majority
party
Leader Honorable
executives from the
Chairman
regions,
Sabunso,
constituency,
national
and
officers,
polling stations
ministers
across
of
the country.
states, CEOs,
Reps of our
MDs,
external branches present,
MMDCs, and other
our
government
venerable
officials
chiefs
are hard-working members of Parliament,
gathered,
party executives from the
and
regions,
opinion leaders,
constituencies,
reps of
and polling stations across the country.
our sister political parties from across
Reps
the world,
of our external branches
represented,
present, our venerable chiefs, TESCON executives here
Kasembi,
gathered,
from Malawi,
and opinion leaders, reps of other political parties
media,
present, our sister political parties from across the world, here represented
the National
by Deputy
Secretariat of the New
Secretary
Patriotic
General Gerald Kazembe from Malawi Congress Party. The media, ladies and gentlemen, I humbly bring you warm greetings from the National Secretariat of the New Patriotic Party, and in particular, the National Executive Committee of the party. As has always been the case,
in the party,
I am highly honored and privileged to be addressing you once again on the state of the party at this National Annual Delegates Conference. This report, among other things, captures some of the developments in the party from our last National Delegates Conference, which was held in 2019, till date, and the way forward. But before I proceed, I humbly crave your indulgence, Mr. Chairman, for us to rise up and observe a minute silence for our departed patriots whose illustrious works have brought us this far. Let us all be on our feet.
Second Vice Chairperson.
From the last year,
Regional Youth Organizer,
we've lost Agnes Donko, Kwabre West Organizer, Rita Otu,
Central,
J. Atokwasi, CK Tedam, Malon Anipa, DCE for one district, Ebenezer Azuma, Second Vice Chairperson, Latif, Regional Youth Organizer for Upper East, Honorable Kofi Ada, former MP, Navrobo Central, Chairman Kofi Juma,
but not the least,
Drew East Constituency Chairman, Nana Adom Yabua, Chairman Abochi, Techiman South Constituency Chairman, Sam Kujo, Kofi Dako from the Bono region, Dr. Amakutu for, and the last but not the least, our own Kojo Owusu Efriye. Sir John.
Amen. Thank you very much.
May their souls and the souls of all our departed
rest
in the bosom of the Lord until the last days of resurrection, where we shall all meet again in heaven. Amen. Thank you very much. This National Annual Delegates Conference, being the first of its kind after our victory in 2020 general elections, permit me once again, Mr. Chairman, to seize this opportunity to say a big thank you, first of all, to our hard-working party members and executives from the polling station level to electoral area to constituency to regional and national levels, as well as our external branches, for working their hearts out to ensure an NPP victory in the 2020 general election. I equally wish to use this opportunity on behalf of the party to once again thank the good people of this country, the Ghanaian electorates, for renewing our mandate by voting massively for our 2020 presidential candidate, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to continue to build on the solid socio-economic foundation we have laid in the last 4 years to 5 years, for the growth and development of our dear nation, for the prosperity of our people. The NPP is indeed grateful, and we assure the Ghanaian people that we will not let you down. It is inarguable that the 2020 general election was not won on a silver platter, but as a result of effective and efficient time-testing campaign strategies rolled out by the party leadership, coupled with the hard work and sacrifices of our rank and file. The campaign was structured from national to polling station levels. The national campaign team was headed by the 6-member team constituted as follows. Honorable Peter McMahon chaired the campaign as campaign manager. Mustafa Hamid was deputy campaign manager. Lord Kwame was deputy campaign manager. Ifua Sabia was deputy campaign manager. And myself, the general secretary, was the director of operations, assisted by my organizer and my wings of the party. We also had regional campaign teams headed by the various regional chairpersons of our party, with the other regional executives and some identifiable individuals in the various regions as members. The regional campaign teams went on to inaugurate constituency campaign teams, which were co-chaired by the constituency chairpersons and parliamentary candidates in the various constituencies. Finally, we had an electoral area and polling station campaign teams, which were inaugurated by the various campaign teams. The party organized a series of workshops and orientation programs for the members of the campaign teams across all levels, as well as our parliamentary candidates, to equip them with the state-of-the-art political campaign strategies and canvassing techniques to make them more effective, efficient, and ahead of the D-Day's operations. We also held training workshops for our officers on the ground and polling agents to acquaint them with the effective use of technology in our famous pink sheet tracking system, which made it possible for the party to collect its nationwide election results from all over the 38,000 polling stations in a record time of less than 12 hours after the polls. This is said to be the earliest or fastest collation of elections results undertaken by any political party in the world. You cannot expect less from the New Patriotic Party when it comes to digitization, which includes leveraging on our technology to achieve results and make life easier and comforting. In contrast, the NDC has still not been able to collate its 2016 and 2020 election figures. Indeed, we have shown that we are better than them in everything, and we can only say, glory be to God for how far God has brought us. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, going into the general elections of 2020, we set for ourselves two objectives to achieve. The first is to win the presidential election in the first round and to also secure overwhelming majority in Parliament. We were very successful in our first target by winning the presidential election in the first round by over 500,000 valid votes, which is an unprecedented electoral feat in the Fourth Republic for a political party seeking re-election for a second term in office. We, however, could not wholly achieve our second target of winning overwhelming majority in seats in Parliament. Though on record, we are the majority group in Parliament today, even as we prepare for a by-election in Asin North, which we are very confident of winning to add to our seats in Parliament. By the election outcome, we lost 49 seats to the NDC and snatched 17 seats, which meant that we had made a net loss of 32 seats in all. Much as this performance in the parliamentary is not impressive, we must place it in context, considering where we are coming from. In 2016, in the 2016 parliamentary elections, we, in an unprecedented fashion, snatched as many as 55 seats from the then NDC, which gave us 169 seats. Out of the 55 seats that we snatched from the NDC, 23 of them were seats that we lost the presidential elections. What it means is that we benefited from skirt and blouse in the year 2016. In much the same way in 2020, the 49 seats that we lost to the NDC, 32 of them we lost the presidential, but won the parliamentary. The point must also be made that late organization of our parliamentary primaries, which has been acknowledged by the majority leader, knowing very well that we had challenges towards the organization of the primaries as a result of COVID. That moved our date from March to around June. It was a difficult process. We need to adapt innovative ways of getting our parliamentarians to be elected. Yes, I agree. It makes it very difficult for us to heal wounds after the elections because it was short period towards the election. Following our emphatic victory in the 2020 presidential elections, as declared by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, the twice defeated NDC presidential candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, led his party to challenge the outcome of the presidential elections. This was after they had lied to their supporters, claiming they the NDC won the elections and not the NPP. Following this incitement, their supporters spent weeks on the streets, staging series of unlawful demonstrations, burning car tires and terrorizing innocent citizens who were going about their normal business. Well, eventually, when John Mahama and the NDC decided to go to court, they shockingly told the court that they didn't win and also that nobody won. We all saw how they ended up embarrassing themselves in the courts, where they could not produce even a single pink sheet to support their claim. Ultimately, the court, in a unanimous 9-0 verdict, ruled in our favor, affirming the declaration made by the EC, which declaration was corroborated by the media and endorsed by both local and international election observers as a true reflection of the sovereign will of the Ghanaian people. The national officers, after the election, led by the national chairman, embarked on a nationwide tour to all the 16 regions of the country to touch base with party grassroots at the regional and constituency levels following the party's electoral victory in 2020. The essence of the tour was to first of all thank the teaming members and officers of the party for the invaluable roles they played in prosecuting the NPP's 2020 campaign, culminating in the December 7 victory. The touching base and thank you tour also forms part of efforts of re-energizing, restructuring, and repositioning the party in order to break the 8-year governance cycle, which has gained notoriety in this Fourth Republic between the two major political parties. As part of the feedback processes that we got from the thank you tour, our party constituency officers and regional officers complained bitterly about what had then started by individuals jostling to take over from His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, even when he has not been sworn in government or as president. They charged the national officers to liaise with the National Executive and the National Council to fashion out code of conduct to regulate pre-parliamentary and presidential elections for our party. True to our word, National Council on 27 July 2020 made some significant sanity and was able to fashion out code of conduct in order for us to crack the whip where the need be. It is evidently clear that the combined effect of discussions and the publication of the code has calmed the waters of competition quite dramatically. I want to use this occasion to congratulate all prospective aspirants for their disciplined observance of the code. We also want to thank all supporters of the aspirants for accepting the need to moderate their efforts and to act with decorum whilst we focus on delivering our mandate to the good people of Ghana, who have rested their confidence in us for another term. It is in the same spirit that enabled the National Steering Committee and the National Executive Committee to ban all internal elections at this conference. And I can see that that decision, that courageous decision of the National Steering Committee endorsed by the National Executive Committee is gaining and making gains for this party. Indeed, social and economic transformation takes time, and consistency of policy implementation is very much needed. Nowhere in the Constitution of Ghana does it say that a party that is performing well should be changed after 8 years. It is rather the president leading the party. So a president who performs well must leave after 8 years, but the party can continue with a new president to consolidate the good policies and present a fresh eye and vision. That is what informs the NPP desire to break the 8. The NPP believes strongly that after 8 elections and 2 rotations between NPP and NDC, Ghana will want an NPP government to continue to deliver on the policies and programs that are gradually changing this nation for the better. We are humbly counting on Ghanaians to sustain the NPP in power after 2024 by voting massively to endorse the best of our policies and grant our new leader the opportunity to carry the torch of progress forward. Per the dictates of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic, our hard-working president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, cannot seek re-election in 2024. And so we are expecting to elect a new leader. We therefore expect to open nomination at the right time. I repeat, at the right time. We are nowhere near that right time. And when the right time comes and we open nominations, we are confident that the party will present a good successor to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. That leader will continue to listen to the people, mobilize the best of our values and talents, and accelerate the social and economic transformation of our dear country. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the party leadership has been paying significant attention to improving the state of the party structures and organization at all levels, especially the grassroots, which form the base of the party. Pursuant to this, we have, with the help of some benevolent party individuals, been assisting in the construction of regional and constituency offices in the regions and constituencies. And recent one was what happened in Joabin, where Nana Dokua Beauty Queen donated such a magnificent building for the new patriotic party. I think that all must join me to thank Nana Dokua and public-spirited patriots like her to continue to develop and contribute to the running of our great party. Furthermore, the party, as you all know, has been making financial contributions to support the various regional and constituency secretariats across the country with a view to reducing the financial burden on party executives. I dare say, no party in Ghana and indeed Africa has been able to do this on a sustained basis as we have done in the new patriotic party. Indeed, when we visited you in your constituencies and regions during our nationwide thank you tour, you expressed satisfaction at the quantum of resources that was made available to the various structures of the party, particularly before and during the 2020 elections, to enhance your campaign activities. You describe this feat as an unprecedented development in the history of the party. But like the proverbial Oliver Twist, you ask for more resources and a consideration of the process of dispersing these resources, particularly in the lead up to a general elections. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on party-government relationship, there is absolutely no doubt that our victory in 2024, where we seek to break the 8 years governance cycle, shall depend largely on the kind of relationship existing between party and government. Any gap in this relationship or disconnect between the party on one hand and government on the other hand shall be detrimental to our electoral fortune. We are all aware of the very reasons why parties in government easily lose elections. Research in this part of our world has been shown that the main opposition political parties do not necessarily win elections, but rather it is the governing party that loses elections. People decide to vote for your opponents, not because they like them, but because they want to vote against you, because they feel you have neglected them and they want to punish you. If for nothing at all, we have the Dr. Herman's report, Kwesi report of the reason why NDC lost the 2016 elections, amongst other things, apathy, occasioned largely by breakdown of party government relations, particularly as we've always been reiterating, the tripod, that is the relationship between MMDCs, constituency executives on one hand, and that of members of parliament. It is important that we always come back to it because it is one of the major reasons why we lose some of our seats. If today we are able to fix this issue, then the New Patriotic Party will have nothing to worry in 2024 as we seek to break the 8. Something that no political party in the Fourth Republic has been able to do. Without a shred of doubt, Mr. Chairman, one of the foremost ways of improving the relationship between party and government appointees is to ensure regular meetings and interaction between party officials at the various levels and the corresponding government appointees, so that frank discussions can be held on all matters of concern to all parties. And I'm grateful that the CEOs organized one just about a month ago for government appointees and the party. And I can say on authority that it was a very, very timely and fruitful discussion that we had there. And we believe that as a party we will continue to engage our government appointees and government officials in order to ensure that we bring to their attention challenges that we face and things that need to be done as the party move on. Ladies and gentlemen, as the party in government, we should not lose sight of the fact that the people will be very critical of what we do. We are the legitimate target of many critical minds, but we are expected to be measured in the way and manner we respond to these criticisms, however unmeritorious and discomforting these criticisms will be. We must appreciate the fact that communication when you are in government is not the same as when you are in opposition, where you can virtually say anything and get away with it. In government, you are largely expected to be providing answers. It is because of this that we expect that government appointees, ministers, CEOs, MMDCs, who have been put in charge of public purse and are expected to have the answers, will play a leading role in communicating government policies and government programs as the party support them in the delivery of these policies. We are enjoined by Article 3.5 of the party constitution to promote and defend the good name of our party and government at all times. By this, every member of the party is expected to be a communicator for the party and government. In our quest to boost party-government relationships, we are rolling out, or we've already rolled out, comprehensive media and communication strategy to enhance party-government communication, part of which includes detailed auditing and the organization of capacity-building workshops for our regional, national, and constituency communicators. We are also holding regular press briefings more than ever to trumpet our achievements. A lot more is being done in this space, and a lot more must be done. Mr. Chairman, I must also report that and report to this conference that we are done with all the necessary preparations for the establishment of our party school. We have secured the National Secretariat. The National Council or Governing Council has been appointed for the party school, which shall be chaired by the immediate past Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Mike Aaron Okwe. The National Council, that's the National Governing Council, has also appointed a rector for the school in the person of Professor Bonsi Simpson, the immediate past rector for Jimpa. So all is set for a grand launch of the NPP party school in January 2022, which is a symbolic year because it coincides with the 30th anniversary of the founding of the New Patriotic Party. The school shall, among other things, educate our members on the party's philosophies, values, history, political strategy, and communications, with a view to imbuing in them the very tenets of democratic governance and practice from perspective of a center-right ideals, which underpin the foundation of the New Patriotic Party. I am also pleased to once again report that the New Patriotic Party is the only political party in Ghana that has been able to organize constituency annual delegate conferences this year in all its 275 constituencies of the country. These conferences, which were held from 21st August to 27th August 2021, in line with Article 7 of the party's constitution, came off successfully and were COVID compliant, owing to the protocols put in place by the party. The party in the month of October held regional annual delegate conferences in all the 16 regions of our country, pursuant to Article 9 of the party's constitution and in accordance with the schedules approved by the National Executive Committee. Myself and my colleague national officers led some of my colleague national officers to supervise each of the 16 regional conferences that were held. The regional conferences were also very, very successful. Mr. Chairman, one critical matter that will be considered at this conference is a review of the party's constitution. Article 19 of the party constitution mandates the General Secretary of the party to receive notice and proposal for amendment of the party constitution not later than 2 months before the National Annual Delegates Conference. These proposals were duly received by my office, following which the party set up an 11-member ad hoc Constitution Review Committee, chaired by Honorable Alex Afenyo-Markin, to assist my office in fine-tuning these amendment proposals and drafting motions for consideration and approval by this conference. The aftermath of the conference and the possible constitutional amendments, if this is what conference is looking for, to be effected to the constitution, will then pave way for internal primaries to be held at the various levels of the party to renew the mandate of serving party executives or elect new ones. It is envisaged that, all things being equal, we will hold our polling station, electoral area, constituency, regional and national elections through from January to June. I must also say, I received over 120 proposals for amendment. In fine-tuning these proposals, we are left with 91 motions that need to be considered by this conference. I wish to also use this opportunity to stress that for each of these internal elections, starting from polling station to national elections in June, July, the party will come out with rules and regulations to govern the conduct of the respective internal elections, and all party members are enjoined to fully abide by the rules and regulations. I wish to conclude, Mr. Chairman, by re-emphasizing my confidence that, as always, we will all give our maximum cooperation to the exercise we have before us today in order to once again have a successful conference. I also wish to use this opportunity to make a passionate appeal to all of us, especially the will-be candidates for the various positions in the upcoming internal elections and their supporters, to conduct this exercise with the necessary candor for the love of the party. Yes, indeed, it is true that we have an 8-year to break, and we are going to do exactly that by the grace of God. We must strive at all times to make the Ghanaian people realize that they are the greatest beneficiaries of the policies and programs of Akufo-Addo government, and that all these policies and programs will be at great risk if we allow the NDC to come back to power again. They will certainly collapse them because, as they have said, time without number, they do not believe in these laudable policies. They do not believe in free SHS, and I believe that they will collapse it. They do not believe in NAPU, and I believe that they will collapse it. They do not believe in NHIS, and I believe that they will collapse it. They did not believe in planting and food and jobs, and I believe that they will collapse it. They did not believe in youth employment program. They decided to change the name to GIDA, and they used it to create loot and share. And I believe that they will collapse it. Teachers training allowance scheme will be collapsed. Nursing training allowance scheme will be collapsed. Allowances for Arabic instructors will be collapsed. Capitation grant scheme will be collapsed. Mobile money interoperability will be collapsed. Paperless post system will be collapsed. Digital address system will be collapsed. One constituency, one ambulance will be collapsed. Drones for the delivery of medical supplies will be collapsed. National ID card system will be collapsed. NEP will be collapsed. One district, one factory intervention will be collapsed. Nothing will be left, and we will be back to square one. The NDC will certainly take us back to the era of unemployment graduate associations. They will take us back to the IMF and their killer conditionalities. They will take us back to the days of doom so. They will take us back to the days of freezing public sector employment. They will take us back to the days where teachers and nurses and other public sector workers who worked for 2 years and more were only paid for 3 months' salaries. They will take us back to the days of economic stagnation. They will take us back to the days of impunity. They will take us back to the days of hopelessness. They will take us back to the days where students were compelled to pay their own utility bills on campus. We all remember that we've been here before when the NDC was in power. So this is not rocket science. It is not rocket science at all. It is real. We know them. We have lived with their experience. We know how bitter it was. We will definitely revisit those dark days if we do not work hard to make sure that the NDC does not come close to the corridors of power again. It is really and truly not always about our party or about what our party does for us now, or does not do for us now. It is not about I haven't gotten anything from my party and government. It is about our future. It is about our children's future. It is about our family's future. It is about our country's future. Let this consciousness be our biggest motivation to work hard for our party and government to win the 2024 elections. We have a good story to tell the Ghanaian people. We should all go out there and tell our story at all opportunity we get. We should let the people of Ghana know how scary the NDC is. We must all get involved in this project for the prosperity of our dear country and its people. We are the party and government that proved to the world that despite the effect of COVID-19, which had shattered the world's economy, we had the wherewithal to restore confidence in the Ghanaian people to the envy of the world. It is therefore not surprising that we have a precedent that the whole of Africa has been voted the African of the Year. It just cannot be better than this. Thank you, and may we have a successful conference to the glory of God and country. Merry Christmas and a prosperous
Thank you, the General Secretary of the New Patriotic
The General Secretary of the ruling New Patriotic Party, the Chief Scribe, John Buedu, just finished delivering his statement.
Thank you very much, the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, for giving such an elaborate, detailed report of the state of the party, the way forward, what is expected of us. At this point, conference will continue. Who are here? We know that lunch will be served whilst we are seated. The women organizers are currently doing
16 regions are here duly present.
Would like a quick roll call.
We want to acknowledge your presence when you mention your
who are
name.
here.
Then you rise up and give a wave.
Give us a wave.
We are starting from the host region. All 16 regions are here duly present of the New Patriotic Party. We want to acknowledge their presence when you mention your name. The New Patriotic Party. Then you rise up and give a wave.
Give us a wave.
We are starting from the host region. I present to the host region, the heartbeat of the New Patriotic Party, the stronghold of the New Patriotic Party, led by Chairman Wuntumi and Regional Minister Honorable Simon Osamensa. I present to you Ashanti regional delegates. Rise up and give a wave. Rise up and give a wave.
Thank you, Ashanti region. Thanks for the constant support, regional minister and regional chairman. We move on to Savannah region. Savannah region, newest region created, one of the regions led by Mwazu and Professor Kalmonia.
Rise up and give a wave, yes. Rise up and yes.
Give us a wave, give us a wave. We're happy you are here.
We move on to the nation's capital. The nation's capital. The seat of government. Where is Greater Accra? Led by Chairman Divine and the Greater Accra Minister, Honorable Henry Kote. Greater Accra, show some love.
Greater Accra region. Good. Your regional minister, regional chairman.
We are now moving to
the
home region of His Excellency the President. The home region of His Excellency the President. The home region. Now, led by Chairman Kisi and Honorable Kwame Achapo. Eastern region. Show some love.
Show some love. Show some love. Show some love. And now, the Volta region, led by Dr. Leta and the great chairman, Wanya, Volta region.
Volta region. Yes, and show some. Yes. I love the euphoria.
We move to the central region.
The central
region led by Robert Kutin. And the regional minister, Honorable Justina Marigold Hassan.
Central region.
Western region. The best comes from the west. Western region.
Regional Chairman Francis Indedesia and Honorable Kwabena Oche and Honorable Mensa. Western region. Show some love. We go to another newly created region. Western North. Western North led by William Benjamin Esua and Honorable Richard Obey. Western North. Good. Western North. Yes.
Western North.
Then to Ahafo region. Led by Governor Owusu Section and Honorable George Botte.
Thank you.
Ahafo region.
We appreciate your participation.
We go to Bono region, one of the new Bono region, and it's led by our brother, Justina Owusu Banahene.
Bono region. We then move straight to another newly created region led by Honorable Thomas, and then also Honorable Kwesi Adu. Bono East region.
We acknowledge your participation.
We also want to acknowledge another newly created region led by Evans Yaudapa and Honorable Joseph Makubu. OT region. Yes. We also want to move straight
to the northern region. The northern region led by Honorable Sani Alhassan Saimu and Chairman Emirates, the Chairman of Chairman Mohammed Mbantima Samba.
Northern region.
We also move to the northeast region,
the home of the vice president. The home of the vice president. Where are you? Yes, we can see you. Yes.
Chairman Duru.
Northeast region.
We also move to the upper west region, led by the heavyweight chairman and the regional minister, Dr. Hafiz Bisale. Upper west region. Thank you.
Upper East
in the house.
Led by Anthony Namon, and Honorable Stephen Yakubu.
Upper East Region.
Upper East
Region.
You're welcome. Make some noise.
Thank you so much. At this point, we would like to move on to also recognize a few important guests who have joined us here. We have the former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party in the person of Ohininto, who is also joined conference at this point.
Ohininto, you are most welcome.
We also have the former General Secretary, Kwabena Japong, who is also joined the House. We recognize you, General Kwabena Japong. And also, we do have the various ministers of state who are in conference today. Honorable Chairman Sabonsu, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Albert Kandapa, Minister of National Security, Honorable Awal Mohammed, Minister for Tourism, Cecilia Abinadapa, Minister for Sanitation, Works and Resources, Honorable Kwajo Alan Chemanting, Trade and Industry, Honorable Dan Boche, Local Government Minister, Honorable Derry Ambrose, Interior Minister, Dr. Owusu Efriye, Agriculture Minister, Dr. Kweku Efriye, Environment, Science, Technology and Innovations, Ebenezer Kojokum, Minister of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Asensu Boachi, Minister for Works and Housing, Minister for Works, Minister of State at the Works and Housing, Frida Prempe, our able Godfrey Dami, Attorney General, Ignatius Bakwa Ewa, Employment and Labor Relations, John Peter Amewu, Railway Minister, and also Joseph Kujo, Minister for Public Enterprises, Ken Oforiata, Minister for Finance, Minister for Defense, Nitiwul Dominic, Minister for Health, Kwekwejin Maimenu, Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesia Mwakwata, Minister for Energy, Matthew Poku Prempe, Minister Hawa Kumsin, Fisheries, Aquaculture Development, Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu Jinapo, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Sarah Adwa Safo, Shelia Yokoboche, Foreign Minister and Regional Integration, Osla Ekufu, Osla Ewusu Ekufu, Minister for Communication and Digitization, Minister for Tourism, Minister for Transport, Kweku Oforie Siama, Minister for Information, Kojo Opong Kruma, Minister for Education, Yao Osei Edutum, and Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edu Boahen.
Madam Talata, yes, national officers. This conference is presided over by Chairman Freddie Blair, National First Vice Chairman Madam Talata S, the chairperson for the planning committee. Second vice chair, Chairman, my own uncle, Epefanto is also here. Third vice chair, Chairman Omariwadia is also here. National Treasurer by His Grace, Mr. Kwabena Abankwa is also here. And then we have Akin Kasia Chongwedu, who just delivered his speech, is also here. Then I have my own boss, the Capo di Supremo, Sami Awuku is also here. Then I have my own mother, people's mother, the party's mother, Mark Jemfua, the National Women Organizer is also here. Then I have the Nasara King Kong, Al-Hajj Aziz Haruna Futa is also here. Then my good self, Nana B, National Youth Organizer, is also in the house.
Thank you. We also wish to acknowledge the Deputy Ministers of State, Yao Adofrempon, Deputy Agriculture, Abanga Abdullahi, Works and Housing, Abina Osei Asari, Deputy Finance, Abina Pomabwaten, Deputy Communication, and a host of others that are here with us. As we see you, we will acknowledge you. All of the delegates from the 16 regions are duly acknowledged. There is more to come. We thank you very, very much. We also have some former ministers, former MPs. I just saw Yamame Elizabeth Ajemanu for Rikrom. Ma, we acknowledge you. In due time, everyone else will be acknowledged and the program will continue as planned. There are a few radio stations that are also requesting for acknowledgement. They are supporting what we're doing today. Otek FM, Oyerepa FM, and our regional communications director from the Volta region also brought a list. Nyantepe Radio from the Volta region. We have Wale Wale FM in the northeast and Izima FM, our own, from the western region. More will follow suit. We appreciate your work, making sure that Ghana hears about the national conference. Sun City Radio, Keta, Victory FM, Aflao, and Volv FM.
Your presence at conference. At this juncture,
For the national
Madam Catherine, we also want to recognize the presence of the former Chief of Staff, Kodom Pienim, who is also joined conference this afternoon. We recognize your presence at conference.
We duly acknowledge your presence.
At this juncture,
you are most welcome. My brother Cabo, before we get into trouble, my boss, senior presidential, my very boss, working to make Honorable Nanaya Osafo Mafu do its very we best. Duly acknowledge your presence.
Thank you very much,
Honorable Mrs. Oboshishai Kofi, you are most welcome. Honorable Elizabeth Ohene, these are all senior presidential advisors working to make our great party and the government do its very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Catherine. It would be impossible to go through the roll call of all important dignitaries that have joined conference today. And so we would like to be pardoned if your name probably was not mentioned. We are really apologizing on that. At this point, we would like to invite our own Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, our Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Digital Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia, to give us a message at conference. Thank you very much, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Please, take your seats. The Vice President will speak. Take your seats. Please take your seats. Please, men in blue, help conference. Please take your seats.
Please, we need the silence so we can listen to the speech. Please, the seat, please. Take your seat so you can listen to the Vice President.
Please
take
your seats.
The President is seated.
Please take your seats.
Please leave the seat, please. Take your seat so you can listen to the Vice President. Please take your seat.
Thank you.
The President is seated. We need you seated, please.
Please. Please leave the
Thank
stage.
you. Please sit down.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Please
very
take
much.
your seats.
Hello.
Please take your seats so we can get on with the program. Please take your seats. Please. Party faithfuls, take your seats.
Thank you. Please sit down.
Thank you.
Thank you
Please
very
take your
much.
seats.
Hello.
Please take your seats so we can get on with the program. Please take your seats. Please take your seats. Take your seats.
Take your seats.
So we can
Take
get
your
on
seats.
with
Yes.
the program.
Please
Please.
take your seats. Yes. Please take your seats.
We are going to
Yes,
continue
the love
with
is
the program.
deep. We understand.
Thank
Take
you
your
very
seats.
much.
Take your seats.
To address conference.
Please take your seats.
Discipline.
We
Take
understand.
your seats, yes.
The
It's
love
okay.
is deep,
Please.
but please
Let's
take your
leave
seats.
Conference arena.
Please
Back to
take your seats.
Please take
His
your
Excellency the Vice President
seats. Our men in blue
is
kindly
about to
make sure
address
that
conference.
Our distinguished
Please, let's
delegates
be disciplined. Take your
Take
seats.
your
Yes,
seats.
it's okay. Please, let's leave conference
Please
arena.
take your seats.
Back to your seats.
If you don't
Please
take
take your seats.
You cannot speak.
Our men in blue,
the Vice President
kindly make sure that
cannot
our
address
distinguished
you,
delegates
cannot address conference.
take their
Please,
seats.
take your seats.
Take
People
your
at the
seats.
center. The people at the
Please
center,
take your
please.
seats.
Please take your seats.
If you don't take your seat,
You cannot speak.
His Excellency the Vice President cannot address you, cannot address conference. Please take your seats. The people at the center, the people at the center, please.
National Chairman
Please take your seats.
of the New Patriotic
Please.
Party, Honorable Freddie Blay, Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency the National Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Honorable Freddie Blay, Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Her Excellency the Second Lady, Samira Baumia, Your Excellency former President John Agyekum Kufuor, who is watching us from home, Chief of Staff, Senior Advisor to the President, First Deputy Speaker, the members of the National Council, of Elders, Honorable Ministers of State, the General Secretary, Adwin Kessier, John Boydu, Majority Leader, First Deputy Speaker, the Chairman and members of the Council of Elders, members of the Diplomatic Corps, National, Regional, Constituency, and polling station executives, rank and file of the Kukrudu family, representatives of other political parties, members of the media, I greet you all. Assalamu alaikum. Every one of us for our victory in the 2020 Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, delegates, this is our first annual delegates conference since the 2020 election. Congratulations to each and every one of us for our victory in the 2020 election. My thanks goes to our foot soldiers, polling station executives, electoral area coordinators, constituency executives, regional executives, national executives, party supporters who in diverse ways work so hard for our victory. And so on. Those who were in the markets, those who went door to door, those who contributed resources, those who manned the polling stations, those who collated the results, those who secured the pink sheets, and so on. Ayiko to all of you. Rather than mounting a serious interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, interestingly, the NDC decided to challenge our victory at the Supreme Court. However, rather than mounting a serious effort, They rather went to the Supreme Court to tell us that the Electoral Commission gave them tea without biscuits.
To challenge the results, we presented over 10,000 pink sheets to support our case.
You remember
over 10,000
that when we went to the Supreme Court after the 2020 election to challenge the results, we presented over 10,000 pink sheets to support our case. Over 10,000 pink sheets. We told the court that we were relying on the data contained in the pink sheets because you and I were not there. When Asiedun Ketia went to the Supreme Court, he was asked, "Where is your evidence? Where are your pink sheets?" Now pink sheets no way
here to challenge the results.
Asiedun Ketia said, and I paraphrase him,
gentlemen,
"My lords, the pink sheets are not there."
Fundamentally incompetent.
Then why are you here? He said, "My lord, we are not here to challenge the results."
Is that they had no evidence to challenge our
Ladies and gentlemen,
notwithstanding
their election petition was fundamentally incompetent.
It is very important.
And the bottom line is that they had no evidence to challenge our victory, notwithstanding all the noise they made to deceive their supporters.
Strategic thinking, actions, dedication,
it is very important
sacrifices,
to remind ourselves
of such
that
great
our
political icons,
the Dankwa Dombo Buzia tradition,
and our party
was built on the
as
patriotism, strategic thinking, actions, dedication, sacrifices, and accomplishments of such great political icons of our tradition and our party, such as Dr. J.B. Dankwa, Chief S.D. Dombo, Bafo Osei Akoto, Edward Akufo-Addo, William Oforiatta, Alhaji Yakubu Tali the Tolona, Obechebi Lamte, Professor K. Buzia, Jato Khalil, Nabaifa Kabo, Alhaji Aliu Muhammad, C.K. Tedam, S.G. Anto, Albert Edubwahi, R.R. Aponsa, J.B. Darocha, J.H. Mensa, J.A. Kufuor, and of course, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
And country on a daily basis.
Without them, we would not be here.
Outward recognition.
We are also indebted to so many men and women who have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice for our party and country on a daily basis, most of whom may not have gotten outward recognition. Mr. Chairman, it is our collective responsibility as members of the great Kukrudu family and as Ghanaians to ensure that the sacrifices of these great men and women have not been in vain. They have built and handed over to us a party and a tradition that we must always treasure. We have a charge to continue this great legacy. We have worked hard as a government under the visionary leadership of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And we are committed to continuing to serve the good people of Ghana. Protecting our efforts, vision, and legacy means we necessarily have to break the eight, as we have termed it. In this regard, let us all be aware that breaking the eight will not be easy. It has not been done before in our history. But I believe if we are united, inshallah, we will break the eight. United we stand, and divided we fall. Our success will depend on how well we conduct ourselves going forward. a strong, united party with a focus on highlighting our successes while countering the desperate, misleading, and misguided NDC propaganda. Rather than taking down each other, we must focus on taking down the NDC, who will be a disaster for this country. We have been responsible for the NPP has a solid record of achievement in the Fourth Republic. Our party has become the most important driver of the Ghanaian vision and development agenda. We have been responsible for the most important policies which touch every Ghanaian in every corner of our nation. The NHIS, school feeding, free antenatal services, free SHS, and so on. As we meet here today at conference, we are reminded that it is the party that birthed the government. Thus, strengthening party-government relations is key to our collective success. I believe by the grace of God, we will be able to break the 8 because our record is a superior record. Whether we are talking about agriculture, industry, roads, housing, education, health, transformational policies like digitalization, social interventions, and so on, the comparison between us and our opponents is like night and day. Can you really remember any transformational policy implemented by the NDC in their last 8 years in government? Can you remember any social intervention implemented by the NDC in their last 8 years in government to reduce suffering? We, on the part of the NPP under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo, we can give you at least 25 social interventions we have implemented to reduce suffering of people in this country. Kukrudu! It is important to acknowledge that we in the NPP have not solved all the problems facing Ghanaians, but we have solved many problems. And we have a plan we are working to. After all, let us all remember that we are only in our first year of a 4-year mandate. This is just the first year. We are not even at half time. We are given a 4-year mandate and we are only in our first year. The COVID-19 pandemic has increased the cost of living virtually everywhere in the world, including countries like the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, France, and so on. Nevertheless, it is important to remind ourselves that notwithstanding the global adverse impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on economic growth, on debt levels, and on deficits, at the macroeconomic level, inflation today, notwithstanding all of these challenges, inflation today stands at 12.2%, which is lower than what it was in 2016, which was 15.4%. Average bank lending rates today at 21% is much lower than what they were in 2016 at 32%. According to the Bank of Ghana, the average exchange rate depreciation over the last 4 years of our first term is the lowest for any first-term government since 1992. The year 2020 recorded one of the lowest rates of depreciation of the currency in 28 years. And the cumulative exchange rate depreciation this year to November 2021 stands at 2.6%. In 2016, it was 9.7%. For the first time in over 2 decades, the trade balance, that is the difference between our exports and our imports, recorded a surplus for 4 consecutive years. This is for the first time
in 24 consecutive years. And this year, the data shows that it will be 5 consecutive years, notwithstanding COVID. Gross international reserves are at $10.8 billion, 4.9 months of import cover, compared to $6.9 billion, 3.5 months in 2016. Our record of creating jobs, we've created over 750,000 jobs, is vastly superior to the record of the NDC government, which froze public service recruitment. So, ladies and gentlemen, if our performance on the key macroeconomic indicators, inflation, interest rates, depreciation, external reserves, trade balance, jobs, if our performance on all these key macroeconomic indicators during the worst pandemic in 100 years, if this performance is better than your performance without such a pandemic, how can you say your economic management is better?
On the distinguished legacy of President J. Kufuor.
The changes we are making
a government
as a party
thinking
in
outside
government
the box to
are
transform
historic.
Ghana.
The changes
Under the
we are
leadership
making
of Nana Addo
are
Dankwa
historic.
Akufo-Addo,
And we are building
first
on the
time
distinguished
in our
legacy
history,
of President J.
Ghana has
Kufuor.
successfully issued
Ours is a
digital
government
national ID
that is
card.
thinking outside the box
first
to
time in
transform
our
Ghana.
history, Ghana has
Under the
implemented
leadership of
a
Nana Addo
digital
Dankwa
property
Akufo-Addo.
address system.
For the first time in our
About
history,
88%
Ghana has
of
successfully
all the
issued a
NCA
digital national
licensed
ID
fiber
card.
optic investment
For
that
the
we have
first time
Ghana.
in our history,
Total
Ghana
investment
has implemented
of all of
a
that,
digital property
80%
address system.
of that was undertaken under the government
About
of Nana Addo
88% of
Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
all the
For the
NCA
first time in
licensed
our
fiber
history,
optic
Ghana
investment
has
that we
mobile
have
money
in Ghana,
interoperability.
total investment
The people may
of
take
all
this
of
for
that,
granted.
8%
When
of
we
that
came into
was
office,
undertaken
the NDC
under
was
the government
trying to
of Nana
implement this
Addo
for
Dankwa
$1.2
Akufo-Addo.
billion.
For the first time in our
We
history,
spent
Ghana has
$4.5
mobile
billion
money
to
interoperability.
implement mobile money
The people may take this
interoperability.
for granted.
And by
But
implementing
when we
mobile
came
money
into office, the
interoperability,
NDC was
we have been
trying to
able
implement
to
this
create
for
a digital
$1.2
economy.
billion.
Total mobile money transactions
We
in
spent
2016
$4.5
was
million
$78
to implement
By the end
mobile
of this
money
year, mobile money
interoperability.
transactions will
And
hit
by
about
implementing mobile money
800
interoperability, we have been able to
This
create
is
a
what we
digital
mean by
economy.
creating a
Total
digital
mobile money
economy.
transactions
Last year, we
in
were at
2016 was
570
$78 billion. By
For
the
the
end
first
of this
time in
year,
our history,
mobile money
any
transactions
Ghanaian
will hit
who has a
about
national ID card
800
can
billion.
open a bank account just using
This
their
is
mobile
what we
phone.
mean by creating
For
a
the first
digital
time in our
economy.
history,
Last year,
over
we were at
80% of
570
adults in
billion.
Ghana have a tax
For the first
identification
time in
number.
our
When we
history,
came
any
into office,
Ghanaian
it was
who
just
has a
4%.
national ID card
For the
can
first time
open
in
a
our
bank
history,
account
Ghana
just
has
using their
grown
mobile
for
phone.
medical delivery.
For the
And
first
Ghana is
time
the
in our
world's
history,
largest
over
medical
80%
drone
of
delivery service.
adults in Ghana
For the
have a
first
tax
time in our
identification
history,
number.
Ghana is
When we came into
implementing
office,
one
it was just
district, one
4%.
hospital under
For the
Agenda
first time in our
111.
history,
By the
Ghana
grace of
has
God,
drones
by the
for
end of
medical
our second
delivery.
term,
And
we
Ghana
would
is
have
the
built
world's
more
largest
hospitals
medical
than any
drone
government
delivery service.
in our history.
For the first
For the
time in our
first time
history,
in our
Ghana is
history,
implementing
Ghana is
one
implementing
district, one
one
hospital
district, one
under
factory.
Agenda
Our
111.
government has
By the grace of
facilitated
God,
the
by the end of our
establishment
second
of more
term,
than
we
100
would have
factories,
built more
more than
hospitals
any
than
government
any
since
government
independence.
in our history.
For the first
For
time
the
in our
first
history,
time in our
Ghana has
history,
paperless
Ghana is
clearing of
implementing
goods
one
at our
district,
ports.
one factory.
We have
Our
digitized
government has
passport
facilitated
acquisition.
the establishment
For the
of
first
more
time in
than
our history,
100
we have
factories,
digitized the
more
process
than
of
any
obtaining
government
a driver's
since
license.
independence.
For the first
For the
time
first
in our
time in our
history,
history,
Ghana has
paperless
Ghana.gov
clearing of goods
platform,
at our
a
ports.
one-stop shop
We
for
have
public service
digitized
delivery.
passport
The
acquisition.
United States
For the
government
first
only
time in
last
our
week
history,
signed
we
an
have
order
digitized the
asking
process
that they
of
also
obtaining a
implement
driver's license.
USA.gov.
For the
So we
first
took
time
the
in our
lead ahead
history,
of the United
Ghana has
States
implemented the
of the
Ghana.gov platform,
For the
a
first
one-stop
time in our
shop
history,
for public service
Ghanaians
delivery.
can renew their
The United
NHIS
States government
membership
only
from
last
their
week
mobile
signed
phone.
an order
For the
asking
first
that
time
they
in our
also
history,
implement
Ghanaians can
USA.gov.
apply
So
for
we took the
scholarships
lead
on
ahead
their
of the
mobile
United
phone.
States at the
For the first time
Ghana.gov
in our
platform.
history, students can
For the
apply
first
student
time in our
loans
history,
without the need for
Ghanaians
a
can
guarantee.
renew their
For the
NHIS
first time in our
membership
history,
from their mobile
government is
phone.
implementing
For the
a
first time
pension
in our
scheme
history,
for cocoa
Ghanaians can
farmers.
apply for
For the first
scholarships
time in our
on their
history,
mobile phone.
Ghanaians
For the
and
first
law
time in our
enforcement
history,
can find
students
out
can
the
apply for
insurance
student
status
loans
of
without
any
the need for a
vehicle on
guarantee.
their mobile phone
For the first
using
time in
the
our
motor
history,
insurance
government is
database.
implementing
For
a
the first
pension
time in our
scheme for
history,
cocoa
Ghanaians
farmers.
were
For
provided
the first time in our
free
history,
electricity for
Ghanaians
lifetime
and law
consumers
enforcement can
for a
find
year
out the
during the
insurance
COVID-19
status of any
pandemic.
vehicle on
For
their
the first
mobile
time in
phone
our history,
using the motor insurance
Ghanaians were provided
database.
50%
For the first time
reduction
in our
electricity
history,
tariff
Ghanaians
for
were
non-lifetime
provided
consumers
free
for a whole
electricity
year
for
during the
lifetime
height of the
consumers
COVID-19
for a
pandemic.
year during the
first time in our
COVID-19
history,
pandemic.
Ghanaians were
For the
provided
first time
free
in our
water
history,
for a year
Ghanaians were
during the
provided
height of the COVID-19
50% reduction in
pandemic.
electricity
For the
tariffs
first time
for
in our
non-lifeline
history,
consumers
import
for a
duties
whole
on
year
all
during
goods
the height
were
of the
reduced
COVID-19
by
pandemic.
50%.
For the
All
first
goods
time in our
on
history,
cars by
Ghanaians were
30%
provided
since
free
2019.
water for a year
For the
during
first
the height
time
of the
in our history,
COVID-19
government has
pandemic.
provided
For the first
free
time in our
Wi-Fi
history,
to 700
import
senior high
duties
schools.
on all goods were reduced by 50%, all goods, and on cars by 30% since
Ghanaian
2019.
pensioners
For the first time in our history, government has provided free Wi-Fi to 700 senior high schools, 42 colleges of education, and public 30
a
universities.
nationwide
For the
e-pharmacy
first time in
which
our
I will
history,
launch next
Ghanaian
week.
pensioners
We will be one of
can
the few
obtain
countries in the
SNIT
world
pension
with a
10
nationwide
days, just 10
e-pharmacy.
days after
For the
making
first
an
time in our
application.
history,
For the
Ghana
first time in
government
our
has
history,
implemented one
Ghana will
constituency,
be
one
implementing
ambulance.
a
And for the first time
nationwide
in our history,
e-pharmacy,
government
which
has
I will launch
established
next week.
Zongo Development
We will be
Fund.
one of the few
We
countries
have built
in the
more
world
roads
with a
in our
nationwide
first term
e-pharmacy.
than any first
For the
term
first
government
time in our
the Fourth
history,
Republic.
Ghana
And we are
government has
continuing.
implemented one
For the first
constituency,
time
one
in our
ambulance.
history,
And
we
for
are
the first time in our
implementing
history,
free TVET,
government has
and we have
established Zongo
the Ghana
Development
TVET
Fund.
service.
We
For the
have
first
built
time
more
in our
roads
history,
in our first
government,
term
under
than
the
any
visionary
first-term
leadership
government
of Nana
in the Fourth
Akufo-Addo,
Republic,
has
and we are
implemented
continuing.
free SHS
For the first
and
time in our
compounded
history,
the
we are
naysayers.
implementing free TVET, and we have established the Ghana TVET service.
by the
For the
grace of
first
God,
time in our history,
for the
our
first time
government,
in
under
our
the
history,
visionary leadership
we
of
will
Nana
break
Akufo-Addo,
the age.
has implemented free SHS and confounded the
The
naysayers.
future is bright for the youth and for Ghana.
And
So let's
by
stay
the
with
grace
the
of
elephant.
God,
The
for the
NDC
first
cannot
time
tell
in
you
our history,
what they have done
we will break the
historically
eight.
to change this country. They can only criticize.
The
Let
future
us stay with the
is
elephant.
bright
Thank you
for the
your
youth
attention.
and
God
for
bless
Ghana.
the NPP,
So
and
let's
God
stay
bless
with the
our
elephant.
homeland, Ghana.
The NDC cannot tell
Thank
you
you very much.
what they have done
Thank you very much. Thank you
historically
very much.
to change
His
this
Excellency the Vice
They can
President
only criticize.
of the Republic of Ghana.
Let us stay with the
Such
elephant.
a clear
Thank you for your
expression
attention. God bless the MPP and God bless our homeland,
of our
Ghana.
government. We thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank
His
you.
Excellency the Vice President
Escorts
of the Republic of
Thank
Ghana.
you. From the
Such a
perimeter.
clear
We're going to
elucidation
continue with the program.
of the
Thank
achievements
you very much. Thank
of
you
our
very much.
government. We thank you
Next,
very much. We
we
thank
will
you very much.
invite
Please,
The chairman of
the man in blue,
Constitutional
could
Review
you
Committee,
escort these young men from the perimeter? We're going to
Deputy
continue with the program.
Leader
Thank you very
of
much.
the
Thank you very
majority
much.
side,
Next,
MP
we will invite the chairman of the
Alexander
Constitutional Review
Afenwamake
Committee
to take us through these motions.
Deputy, please, leader of the majority side, MP,
Please,
Alexander Afenwamake, to take us through these motions. Please,
Fellows.
Please.
Fellows.
Nyamin 101.3. Want to me radio. Nyamin Saum.
Memma mu nyina kwaba soronko de ba Ashanti aha ana NPP na koma ne brabuo nyina wo sa Asante kasa na NPP nkunumdie na de ba Asante regional NPP chairman wuntumi me ne regional executives and the constituency executives polling station council of elders ni patrons coordinators ani aboafo nyina no mamo akwaba ade ba Asante mantem we yepan yisu yi we ni damienu a Asante yetimi anya aye national delegate conference awo me pen so ne yede aba we ni kire say national for ani MPP ni onyankopon ni Asante ma adi ni ye yedamase na ye party no obuo ni anidie kwaso ade a mesra ye yi ne se ye beye conference na wie no ni yetimi anya hoden soronko enkabomu soronko a betimi anam so ama 2024 no yetimi awene aye power de ya babida aye 2000 to 208 ne ya power lemom esansa ya ntimi ahunu kwan a wose ye fa so etimi hyehye ye niam ntine hwiegui lemom 208 no aye mfaso de de amaye se yensua bibi mfamfrim ne nsua de ene ne nyansa ewom ne se bibisi na se usua eba be ye mra enti ne mra ne se de 2000 to 208 de siye no abo se MPP yetimi nya asuade soronko ebi de firi mu enti ade a edi kai pa no aye unity baako ye minuanom aye delegate conference de aha ane ye mra ade a ye dwen se betima boa party ne kanko ane ade nyina ha ne ye ba beka no Madam Roma anya ha ne obi aba be ye ne campaign ye besremo ye wie na delegate conference no ye niema ye pese ye ba be hyehye se ya hwe ne ye ne dide bebre ba ho a wan hwe ade ye pese ye kan na se mra ane ade ye betima boa ye party na ama kanko aba no wan hwe ne ye ntimi otwedi ampo onyankopon hyiramo I welcome you all to the MPP kingdom and to the kingdom of Otumfo say to Abio Asantokotoko Krobia, the garden city of Ghana. That is Ashanti. Welcome you. Thank you so much. I love you. I love MPP. And I know you love MPP. May God bless you.